Hello, friends. I'm here talking to Jeana Belote. She's been our missionary in Bulgaria, working with the Renaissance Church of Christ in Sofia, Bulgaria. Jeana, how many years has it been that you've been working with them now?
Wow, let's see. I got to count on my fingers. Since 2014.
6 years, and this used to be a dream, just a dream, something you were going to do that was going to be unlike anything you'd ever done before, right?
Yeah, it was. And, I went for the first time in 2014 with Rick Odell and the West Ark Youth Group, and I fell in love with the country. And by the summer of 2015, I was in Rick's office crying, saying, I wish it could be me that goes to Bulgaria and helps Cristo and Vanya, but it can't be me because I have physical limitations or whatever it was. And he was like, why can't it be you? Why not? And I was like, yeah, why not? Why not? And so this whole dream began
Yep.
of moving there and changing my life drastically.
What's been the
Mhm.
great story about the last 6 years?
In the last 6 years, God brought children to the church because when I initially started going on mission trips there, we knew that the church needed youth, and we thought that meant like teenagers, and that was like our goal, was trying to talk to teenagers in the park. But God just started, as I went back to school, to university, and started preparing to come over, and I didn't know really why. I just knew God was calling me there. God started putting into place ways for me to go into children's ministry at West Ark, and also take some classes that were free and were offered to me in children's ministry. And then by the time I showed up, we had like 11 kids.
Wow.
So, and that was something that Cristo and Vanya had prayed for 10 years ago.
Mhm.
So it's amazing what God's doing.
What's been the big story for Jeana in those 6 years? How are you different?
Well, I'll tell you, I'm I struggled with my faith for many years. And they always tell you not to go into the mission field to strengthen your faith, but it really has helped me, I don't know, be better disciplined, kind of grow up a little bit. Even in your 40s, you can still grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
What is your work like with the Renaissance Church in Bulgaria? What do you do?
what I do is I do teach English to the church members, and I teach English to some other adult Bulgarians that come to a class. They were coming to a class. We had to shut that down. And also, I just serve the church in the children's ministry capacity,
Yeah.
and helping them come up with Bible stories for the kids, deciding which ones we should teach, and coming up with crafts. And,
What are you praying for? What are you praying for?
I'm praying for, that the elderly can, during this pandemic, can still um, socialize within the church itself and get the interactions they need. And
Yeah.
and then we have also other Bulgarians that don't live in Sofia, that are believers, that don't have a church building or a group to meet with, and I'm sure they're feeling very alone right now. The big prayer I have for the children is that we can instill in them enough of you know a, enough of a godly base to where they want to continue walking with God the rest of their lives. So I'll be heading back, and in the first 2 weeks I'm there, I'll really have to take into consideration what it's like there and what's going on in the church, see if I'm needed,
Yeah.
um, because this was initially a midterm mission, which was 2 years, and then reevaluate. So I got cut short of that time in March, April, May.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of going back to, see what's going on and reevaluate, make sure my presence is needed there physically, and if there's still more I can do with the church.
Yeah. But I see a lot of humility in that. I mean, you're wanting to be a servant. You're not just going over there to do your own thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's my ultimate goal, is to serve God and be his hands and feet.
Okay, so we're going to go with you in spirit, and the good thing about Bulgaria is, Lord willing, if everything goes like it is, we can stay in touch with you while you're in Bulgaria. You do a good job of staying in touch with us. I mean, people can Zoom you like this, right?
That's true. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Yeah. And so your objective between now and mid-December will be to assess what the future of this mission really looks like, because I mean,
Mhm.
let's admit it, the whole world has changed.
Yeah, everything is changing, and that's true. But one of the positive things to look at is Christo said that since the pandemic hit and people were getting really scared, that they've had more calls to the church asking about God and questioning things.
How can we be praying for you during this fall phase of your mission program?
Well, just be praying that, I can hear God over my anxiety, about over the COVID anxiety, hear God's voice about what he wants me to do and how he wants me to serve. And the second thing is for God to guide me in the children's ministry and let me know what needs to be done in that area as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I know
going
one of the
forward.
things you've asked us to pray for those children and their future, that they hold on to that gospel into their adult life.
That is my greatest hope, is that, you know, I am giving them enough of a foundation now, and the church is giving them enough foundation that they have something to hold on to when those teenage years hit and peer pressure hits, and they're surrounded by atheist friends in an atheist country, that they can really hold fast to God and walk with him the rest of their lives.
Well, isn't it great that we got this video? Because wouldn't it be awesome? I mean, who knows? I'm speaking to you now from the past. I'm speaking to you there in the future in the year 2050, and somebody's going to dig up this video, and they're going to remember this, and some of those young people that have heard the gospel are going to be talking about all of this. So who
Oh,
knows?
let's
I
let's
mean,
see what God does. He always blows my socks off. So
that's right. That's right. It's all God's plan. So Jeana, I want to thank you for being humble and obedient, because you've never been so arrogant to claim that you know exactly what God's got to do. Rather, you've just been teaching the rest of us by saying, I'm just going to be an obedient servant to God. And I think people are being blessed by that.
yeah. And one thing I will say is we don't always know what a mission field is going to look like. Sometimes you just got to show up and be willing to serve.
Yeah.
That's been my case.
And that
Mm.
that is exactly what you've done. So, all right, the next phase of the adventure begins. Okay, somebody watching this right now, you're thinking, this is a great thing. I want to know more about it. I want to be involved in it. Maybe you want to go to Bulgaria. Maybe you want to encourage Jeana. Maybe you want to support Jeana. You might also want to support Christo and Vanya. And I tell you what, Jeana, maybe when you get to Bulgaria, we'll do an interview with you and Christo and Vanya. How's that sound?
That would be awesome.
That would be good, because you have to know them and their story, but they need support. They need financial support. They're
Hmm.
supported through the Northside Church of Christ in Spokane, Washington. But if you'll get in touch with us here at West Ark, we can tell you how to do that. If you want to support Jeana, either financially or just be an encouragement to her, she loves the encouragement, and we'll tell you how to get in touch with her. And who knows, you might be able, everybody's teaching kids on Zoom. Wouldn't that be cool if the kids in Bulgaria could talk to people in the States? Would they like that?
Um, they would probably really intimidated because they can't speak English. They get that way
Okay.
with me.
How's your Bulgarian?
It's right now it's just very emergency oriented. I can talk to someone at a grocery store or at a counter, a
Yeah.
clerk, somebody like that, but it's just izvinjete. Um Имаш ли само етар днес?
You are great. I remember when you thought you'd never get this. So, okay, how would you say, like, give me a call when I'm in Bulgaria, or, telling people, how would you say that in Bulgarian, inviting people to contact you?
Обади ми се в България.
That is amazing. You are doing so good. I love that. All right, folks. So you can get in touch with us. We'll get you in touch with Jeana. You'll see more of her here on the West Ark YouTube channel. And this is a great adventure. And I'm telling you, if Jeana, last thing, if somebody out there is watching this and saying, "Oh, I could never do something like that," what would you say to them?
Why not? Why can it not be you? And why not? You totally can do it with God. Anything's possible.